So Neil, a few days on from the final game of the season, first of all, how would you just sum up your time at Inverness?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been brilliant actually. Tinged with disappointment, I have to say, because having got so close to the playoff positions, unfortunately we came up short. So that's the disappointment. I still believe that we were good enough to achieve that. But obviously coming into the club, we've been through some really difficult times, not least losing our manager and assistant, but then the backlog of fixtures that was having to get shoehorned in quick succession. So it was a real demand on a squad that was already probably a wee bit low, on given the fact of what they've been through. But yeah, I still believe that on our day we were as good as anybody in the division, and that's a wee bit of disappointment. We just couldn't get ourselves maybe up to the speed that I wanted to right away. It took us a few weeks to get going, but I can only speak so highly of the club, people who work in the club, and then of course the staff that I was working with in the football department. It was a real joy under real difficult circumstances. And it's something I'm pleased I did.
And obviously at the moment your job is completing, and I believe before you joined the club you had some sort of business commitments that you had to step away from. How are you looking forward to getting back to them now?
Yeah, well, I'll need to pick them back up again. When Scott Gardner made the call to me, I was on my way to one of those commitments, which was doing my media work. I was going to cover a Rangers game against Dundee United, and it's well documented that the conversation was had, and then I had to have maybe one or two others afterwards, again with Scott, but then more importantly with John, make sure that he was comfortable with me coming in, which he was, and I'm delighted that he felt they had a relationship with me, a personal one and a personal trust that I'd be coming in here not looking for his job, but to help him. So yeah, I had work commitments outside of that as well, and a couple of things in the fire that I was looking to go and develop. But they get put in the back burner because I felt that this job, it was a personal favour almost that I couldn't turn down, given what John had been through, what the club had been through. I felt a wee bit of responsibility after the phone call that I should do it if I could do it. So I did, and now I'll look to pick some of those commitments back up now that my job here at Inverness is done.
And you mentioned that you had to speak to John before you took the job, and have you been able to speak to him since that?
I had a coffee with him just last week there, which was really good because I haven't spoken to him an awful lot, to be honest, other than that initial conversation. We've exchanged one or two texts, but essentially it has been a kind of stand away situation where I've just got on with the work in hand. John's probably watched from afar. But that was a really good coffee because he looked well, he looked reinvigorated, he looked ready to come back, which is great for me and the club, and hopefully that is the case. But regarding our relationship, it's probably strengthened as well. So we spoke football, we spoke about the disappointment not making the playoffs, but a wee bit about the pride and the resolve that the players showed and the club showed under a really difficult time.
So just the last one, have you got any regrets from your time at the club?
I've got one or two. One is not making the playoffs because it's just who I am. I'm built to try and be successful. So I still view my time here as maybe just coming up short. But one of the other ones is not being able to lead the team out with fans behind us. I think the fans here at Inverness have shown great support to the club. It would have been nice to take the team out into the pitch and get that wee bit of extra backing, which can be crucial at the business end of a season sometimes. And we didn't have that luxury, and I know the support was there. I'm not on social media, but I believe it's still strong towards the club and very supportive. So that's a wee regret, because as a manager you want to put a team in the pitch that the fans are proud of. And I think once we get things going with some really good highs along the way, I think the fans would have really enjoyed that. And as I said, maybe with them in the stadium it might have just pushed us on to something greater. So yeah, that's something that I'll take away is that little bit of regret. But in terms of taking the job, I have no regrets. It's been a blast up here. and I can't speak highly enough of the place, Inverness. I've said before as well, Liam, that a lot of players maybe have reservations of coming to Inverness because of the journey. They should get themselves up here. It's not that far. There's plenty of podcasts out there if you want to do the journey, but once you're here you realise that it's a beautiful place in Scotland. It's a great club, it's a great place to play football, and I would encourage any players out there that are thinking that Inverness might not be on their potential transfers or next clubs. They should be focusing on having to see what's around Inverness.
Neil, thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.